Hey guys, it's Sharmi Cedrus here, and today we will be making a sugar scrub that is colored with rose clay, so a naturally colored sugar scrub. And so the first thing we need to do is measure out our oil phase so that we can melt it down. And my oil phase will include safflower oil, fractionated coconut oil, rosehip oil, shea butter, emulsifying wax NF, and cetyl alcohol. You can, of course, use different carrier oils, but I chose these just for me. So you don't even have to choose three, really. You can just choose one of them. Just note that if you do change any of the oils, that the final product may be a little different than mine. And this goes the same for the shea butter. If you want to use mango butter instead of the shea butter, there will be a slight difference, but I've also tried that with this recipe as well. Now that I have all of that weighed out, I can go ahead and add that to my hot water bath. And I did not state it, but I am using a heat resistant beaker. And my hot water bath has a little less than an inch of water in it. And I typically have my heat on medium low to medium. I'm just gonna let my beaker sit in the hot water bath until everything is fully melted. Now it's time to remove my oil phase from the hot water bath and add in my glycerin and polysorbate 20. Now I'm going to thoroughly mix those ingredients together before I add in the cool down phase. And you'll see that I am using the milk frother attachment on my stick blender, but later you'll see me switch over to the hand blender attachment. And for this specific hand blender, you can find that on my Amazon storefront. I have the link down in the description, and also make sure you check out the description because that's where the blog post for this recipe is. The fragrance I'll be using today actually comes from Brambleberry. It's the Rose Gold fragrance, and I'll also be using Optifin as my preservative, and I got this one from Lotion Crafter. And after adding those in, I'm just going to mix it up just a little bit before I add in the sugar and the clay. As you can see, I did decide to get another beaker so that I can measure out the sugar and the clay, but that's not actually necessary. I'm just clumsy, so you actually can just measure this directly into the beaker, but I feel like if I did it, then there would be far too much sugar in the beaker. As you can see, I really did not add that much rose clay to this recipe, and that's because the rose clay was just here for the color. If I added a little more rose clay, it would have been a darker color, but I wanted the lighter pink, and I wanted to be able to achieve that with a natural colorant instead of mica. Now it's time to pour in my dry ingredients and mix it up. Like I said, I will start with the milk frother, but that was not doing the job, so I switched over to the hand blender. So no matter how many times I've made this recipe, and I've made it a lot with the different oils and butters and clays actually, but I always have to come back and mix it a second time. So I typically let it sit for about an hour, and then I come back with my hand blender and mix it again, and after that I don't have to mix it and I don't have any other issues with it. I'm sure of course there's a way to only have to mix it once, but haven't found it yet with this recipe, and I love the recipe so much that I don't mind. As you can see, it did separate, and I'm just gonna mix it again for another 1 to 2 minutes. And like I said earlier, after I mix it this time, I won't have any issues. I've had some sitting for over 9 months, and it has not separated again after mixing the second time. Now that it's fully mixed up, I'm going to let it sit overnight, and I'll come back and show you because it will get a little bit thicker than this. And by a little, I mean like a little more than a little. Before I show you guys the final product, I do want to do a quick shout out to my people over on Patreon. Make sure you check out their links below and support other small businesses.